This is the time of the service where we take communion. We have our amazing sister, Gina, who's going to be sharing our heart for communion today. So if you please turn with me to 2 Corinthians.
Come on.
Chapter 4. Starting in verse 7. It says, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body."
Come on, Gina.
Good morning. It's an honor to be able to share what the cross means to me. And many of you here know me, know a little bit about my walk with God, but I've been walking with God for 5 years now.
Nice.
And I've seen a lot in God's kingdom. I've seen a lot of miracles like baptisms and people getting married and dating. And I've also seen the hardships. I've seen people have to fight to be fruitful, fight to stay faithful, to endure, to persevere. I've seen a lot and experienced a lot. But this scripture I read in a completely new way. About 3 weeks ago, my dad actually passed away. And I've never experienced a heartbreak like that in God's kingdom ever before. I've never really been heartbroken like that. Like, my dad was my best friend, and it was hard emotionally, spiritually to deal with that, to work through it. I mean, I'm still working through it now. But when I read this scripture, I saw that something in my character that I never really realized before, and that it was that I felt entitled to feeling comfortable in God's kingdom. I felt entitled to being happy always, and that there would never be heartbreak. Yeah. And so when I read this, and I saw that actually in the scripture that we're going to face weakness, we're going to have to be crushed, to a degree. Like, we're going to have those moments of weaknesses. But what I've also realized is that we are given a treasure, and that treasure is the gospel.
Yeah.
And it's being held inside of clay jars, and that is us. We're brittle, we're weak, we're meant to be broken so that God's glory can shine through. Yeah. And in verse 10, it says that we always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. And it's just amazing to see that what Jesus went through, like, he went through so much pain, so much heartbreak. He died on the cross for us so that we could bring him glory, so that we could be forgiven of our sins, so that we could help other people to be able to see what the cross really does mean. And for me, that I've really just been able to see that when I have weakness and suffering, that I have to turn to the gospel, I have to turn to the cross, and that yes, the cross, it brings hope to my life, but it brings hope even when I'm hurting. And it's something that I've never experienced before. And so just to realize that, I get to be able to be at the foot of the cross, to be able to be made strong again through God, and that brings God glory, not myself, There's lyrics to a song, and it says that, I may not understand why, but you are God and you are good. And this pain that I'm going through is for a reason. And so I think of Jeremiah 29:11, like, God has a hope and a future for us. And it's not unless we go to him on our knees at the foot of the cross that we're going to be able to see that hope and that future, no matter what trial we're facing, no matter what weaknesses that we're facing, or sorrow or hardship. And so for me, this is the first time the cross has ever meant hope in a time of hurt, but just able to look at Jesus and his example of the cross has really been able to help me to just draw closer to him and to be able to keep fighting and to stay strong. And so I don't know what trials you guys may be going through, or things that you may be suffering through, family sicknesses and things like that. But I really just want to remind everybody that the cross can bring hope even when we're hurting at our darkest times. Thank you.
Come on, Gina.